How effective is a low FODMAP diet for the treatment of IBS? For those of you who don't know, FODMAPs are short-chain carbohydrates that are present in different quantities in different foods and can create gas, pain, bloating, and different symptoms in people with IBS. Because basically as the carbohydrates reach your gut, they are fermented by bacteria, which create gas, and this can lead to symptoms. So let's get straight to the point. Does low FODMAP actually work for IBS? Yes, it does to some extent. And 70% of people in some studies have seen symptom reduction by using this elimination diet. They basically go through their diet, remove as many FODMAPs as possible, and then slowly introduce them, seeing which ones they can tolerate and which ones they can't. And you can, that tolerance might change over time. So you can try another round of introductions 6 months later and gradually increase your diet. So it's really good if your IBS is created by food sensitivity, as it can really reduce the symptoms. And this in turn helps you to, feel better, feel a bit happier, reduces your anxiety, and can have a kind of virtuous effect. Low FODMAP did help me somewhat when I had IBS. It wasn't the whole picture for me. And I think it's rarely the whole picture for anyone, because what you're effectively doing is you're recognizing you have a sensitivity, and then you're just not triggering that sensitivity. It's a little bit like, imagine if someone's really angry, so you had to tiptoe around them and not say anything that might make them angry. You're not really dealing with the root cause, which is, why is this person angry? Why is your gut angry? Why is your gut sensitive? What is creating that sensitivity? If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button. As you can see, this is a pretty small channel, and the more people that subscribe, the more people I can reach and get this message out to, and the more people will reduce or eliminate their symptoms of IBS and gut issues. And the other thing is, you're really cutting out a lot of foods, a lot of very healthy foods. And this can create a kind of fear around food, which is very common. And that fear in itself can create a high sensitivity to the food. It can also create, malnutrition if you don't reintroduce foods properly, on a well-directed schedule managed by a healthcare professional. Another point is that food isn't always a trigger for everyone with IBS. A lot of people have stress-induced IBS, post-infectious IBS, which, might just respond to all food in the same way. And in that respect, low FODMAP might not be the answer for those people. But there is another solution, and this is a solution I really advocate. And this solution has been found to be 80 to 85% effective in studies and really goes after the root cause. It works for all those different types of IBS, whether that be post-infectious, stress-induced, or food sensitivity related, any of those things, because it's really dealing with the root cause. If we go back to our analogy of the angry man that we're tiptoeing around and try not to make him mad, what hypnotherapy does is goes straight to that guy and starts talking to him about the root cause of his anger, like what's going on here. So we go to your unconscious mind and start saying, what is the root cause of this anxiety, of this turbulence, which is manifesting in the gut? The gut and the brain are deeply connected by the enteric nervous system, and what you feel and what you think has a very deep effect on the nerves leading to your gut, and this affects your microbiome and the composition of all the microorganisms in your gut, which in turn affects your mood and creates a cycle. And many people are in this vicious cycle where they have a poorly functioning gut, they have a lot of anxiety, and poorly functioning gut is making the anxiety worse. And it's just an awful spiral. It's very difficult to get out of because you have to cut in somehow to this vortex. And that's why hypnotherapy is really fantastic for it. It's able to really look at the knots which are stuck in your unconscious, the beliefs which are repeating again and again and again, and turning into thought, turning into behavior, which are not helping you. So another real benefit of hypnotherapy versus a low FODMAP diet is that you don't have to take on this restrictive view of eating, and you can maintain the view that the food is naturally the problem. It's the response to the food, which is the problem. I'm sure your body at one time was responding okay, at least to the vast majority of foods, which it's now sensitive to. So hypnotherapy can really get deep inside your unconscious and your nervous system and convince your body that those foods are safe, they're good for you and nourishing, and they're not going to be a problem. And when you deeply believe that on an unconscious level, that turns out to be your new reality. And a final benefit I really wanted to bring home is that hypnotherapy is zero risk and really quick. It generally works in 6 to 8 sessions for the treatment of IBS. As I say, it's 80 to 85% effective in symptom reduction. And it really goes up to the root cause. So it's not like the symptoms will just come back. Because if you restrict, and let's go back to the analogy, let's say you stop annoying this angry man, what happens the next time you go back? Oh, you have to not annoy him again, not annoy him again. There's no guarantee that he's ever going to be calmer or less angry, right? You cannot aggravate a symptom, and that doesn't mean the symptom is going to go away. It is still being caused by something. And if that cause is in your unconscious mind, is related to ongoing anxieties, then really you're going to have to tiptoe around that angry gut for the rest of your life, perhaps, and just manage symptoms. And who wants to live their life always worried about what they're going to eat, always tiptoeing around and trying not to provoke the beast? It's just awful. And I know that because I've lived that, I know what it's like not to be able to go out and enjoy a meal in a calm way. So you're panicking about what you're going to eat or anticipating the pain before it even happens. So you really suffer twice. I've experienced that, what it's like to have to work when your gut is in pain and you're worried about having to go to the bathroom at different times while maintaining kind of professional composure. It's really difficult. And hypnotherapy is a way to deal with the root cause, not just to suppress symptoms. And it's not, low FODMAP, one is helpful. And I do recommend give it a try by all means, but it's very restrictive. It's very difficult and it's quite unpleasant. Hypnotherapy is a deeply pleasant experience and it's proven to be more effective. So I really think it's something everyone should try. And I think it's a shame that low FODMAP is the go-to solution and hypnotherapy is seen as a kind of alternative or fringe solution, despite the evidence suggesting that it's more effective. So if I've convinced you to have a look at this, go to my website, philipweston.com, to learn more about hypnotherapy for the treatment of gut issues and IBS. And you can sign up for a free course there, which is a limited time only. And the first 200 people get access for free. So make sure to sign up as soon as possible. And again, please subscribe to the channel for more updates, more information on IBS and the gut-brain connection. Thank you.